introduced the neutrality policy before Wikipedia was even conceived of, and then Wikipedia inherited it from Nupedia. Wikipedia made a real effort at neutrality for, I would say, its first 5 years or so, and then it became, well, it began a long, slow slide into what I would call leftist propaganda. I mean, it's a harsh description to put on Wikipedia, but at least a lot of the political articles read that way now. But that's because they follow the news media, at least they have done in the last 10 years or so, 10 or 15 years. They've gradually gotten rid of all of blogs, and then more recently they've gotten rid of almost all conservative news sources as sources for their articles. And so as the news media has shifted, and as the establishment, frankly, has shifted more to the left, the content of Wikipedia has followed suit. It would have been hard for me to accept that this would happen and that it would be so striking. Even 10 years ago, I mean, already there was this decline into a slide to a center left.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I will put the video in the comment section so you can send it to everybody that says Wikipedia ain't biased. I just find it odd there was many opinions on Wikipedia, suddenly only one voice was allowed, and these are the people that keep telling me I'm living in an echo chamber.
They're deleting Epstein connections off of Wikipedia right now. I was working on something for a little documentary today and went to go and look at Bill Clinton's Wikipedia page to get the number of times he flew on Epstein's plane. And it turns out that Epstein is only mentioned one time on Bill Clinton's Wikipedia page. And it's in the footnotes in reference to Jennifer Epstein, Clinton family speeches, netted as much as $26 million. Excuse me? So I went to the Wayback Machine and found out when did they delete all of this. Because they used to mention Epstein 47 different times. Because there used to be a whole section about his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein.
Which makes it actually interesting, because that's left-leaning people removing information to prove an agenda in their own freaking echo chamber. I just wonder why.
Which was, shall we say, extensive? And so it turns out, sometime on July 22nd, someone deleted all of Bill Clinton's connections to Jeffrey Epstein from Wikipedia. And ever since July 22nd of this year, no Wikipedia editor has saw fit to change that. That is despite numerous witnesses extensively documenting Bill Clinton's friendship with Epstein and his indulgence in the services.
Now that kind of makes sense.
That is despite Bill Clinton threatening news publications for talking about it. Bill Clinton being photographed numerous times with his buddy. Bill Clinton being photographed with girls. Jeffrey Epstein literally had this painting of Bill Clinton in his apartment. Can't imagine what that means. But it's just weird timing. Why do you think Bill Clinton is having his Epstein section deleted from Wikipedia right now?
I'll be honest, I'm not 100% sure, but I still remember this lady that said something about Wikipedia. Venga, dilo, remember to subscribe.
Remember to subscribe? ¿Por qué?
But one of the most significant differences, critical for moving from polarization to productivity, is that the Wikipedians who write these articles aren't actually focused on finding the truth. They're working for something that's a little bit more attainable, which is the best of what we can know right now.
So it's a truth that keeps changing.
And after 7 years there, I actually believe that they're onto something. That for our most tricky disagreements, seeking the truth and seeking to convince others of the truth isn't necessarily the best place to start. In fact, I think our reverence for the truth might have become a bit of a distraction that is preventing us from finding consensus and getting important things done.
So when you look for the truth, you're getting distracted. And we need to focus on why you're getting distracted instead of focusing on the truth.
Now, none of that's to say that the truth isn't important. The truth obviously exists. It's at the core, or the search for the truth is at the core of some of our greatest human achievements. It can animate and inspire us to do, learn, and create great things. But I think in our messy human hearts, we also know that the truth is something of a fickle mistress, and that the beauty of the truth is actually often in the struggle. It's the reason that we have so many sublime chronicles of the human experience, because there are so many different truths to be explored. And so in this spirit, I know that the truth exists for each of you in this room. It also probably exists for the person sitting next to you. But the thing is, the two of you don't necessarily have the same truths. And this is because for many of us, truth is what we make when we merge facts about the world with our beliefs about the world. Each of us has our own truth, and it's probably a good one.
But it feels like she's saying that if I get punched, maybe that is just my truth. It's not the truth. So we need to understand the struggle so we can understand the different opinion of the truth, maybe of the person that punched you, that can tell me, I didn't really punch you, I slapped you.
Now, police say that Jose Reynaldo Martinez Reyes lured the boy away from the residence with the promise of buying him a toy. The family tells me the boy's name is Jake, and he was alone because his other family members went inside, leaving him out in the front to play by himself. Now, when he was taken, the family began frantically looking for him. And the boy's uncle tells me that the boy's brother found him and his kidnapper walking about a mile away, and physically separated the two and restrained the suspect until police arrived.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the former head of Wikimedia. If such a person tells me a truth that I want to Google about the thing that you just saw, and she ended that whole conference with reverence for the truth, might have become a bit of a distraction that is preventing us from finding consensus and getting important things done. I'm like, what important things do you need to get done to justify that my truth that I just saw might not be the truth? What she is doing is obfuscating this whole situation as if I just don't want to help the kid. Because if the brother didn't use the direct method and think with reverence, I don't think he would get the kid at all.
My legal name is Greg Gegg. I was bullied. One day at lunch, I had my head shoved in the urinal. It busted my lip. I had laid on the ground in a fetal position as the kids kicked me. Well, I went home and I got the .45 out of my father's drawer and put it in my mouth. I had nobody in the school system to help me. Lance, you were the one that shoved my head in the urinal. Thank you.
I will resign and retire as superintendent of KDISD.
Because if you don't do that and you want to reverence with the truth with distraction is not as bad, crime isn't going up, we have consequences.
So I'm on the outside of this glass partition between two aisles that actually section off this area. And as you look around, you'll see several products that range from first aid, detergents, health and beauty, and more. We also checked out ourselves to see how it all works. So there's actually a cashier inside. You pay for your product, and they'll put a sticker on it right here to show you paid.
I'm sorry, it feels like a prison. You can say we are living in a safe neighborhood with so much gang to security and tell me, well, it doesn't feel like a prison.
Concerning new CDC report on the first severe human case of bird flu in the U.S. Samples taken from a patient in Louisiana show mutations that could make it easier for this virus to spread from person to person.
But where could these mutations be coming from? Well, I dug up this Science magazine article from 2019, and they were reporting that controversial experiments that could make bird flu more risky were poised to resume.
And that's why you need to read all the articles.
Quote, controversial lab studies that modified bird flu viruses in ways that can make them more risky to humans will soon resume after being on hold for more than 4 years. Science Insider has learned that last year, a U.S. government review panel quietly approved experiments proposed by 2 labs that were previously considered so dangerous that federal officials had imposed an unusual top-down moratorium on such research. And one of the labs that got greenlit was led by a guy named Ron Faucier at Erasmus University Medical Center. Well, guess what I found? The Erasmus Medical Center partners with the Eco Health Alliance a virus hunting project that worked closely with the Wuhan Institute of Virology. And nothing went wrong there, am I right? And Ron Faucier, this guy right here, in 2011, he garnered worldwide notoriety when he generated an airborne strain of an avian flu with an estimated 60% fatality rate.
And ladies and gentlemen, I looked this guy up on Wikipedia and I cannot find anything about him about that 60% or that 2011 thing.
And guess who funded that study? The Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. But don't worry too much about that. We got vaccines on the way. And guess who's funding that? Yeah, also the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Does anybody else see something wrong with this?
I mean, I think it's suspicious, but I don't think a lot of people are going to believe me because it's not on Wikipedia.
Don't get me wrong, ako sa kitabang Buta fire na may blonde kush hash purple skunk criollo colombici jam jam turlo kita verdeta welcome.